Italy is the next steaming hot country on my list, and this steaming hot country is known for its pizza and pasta, but I'm here for the theme parks and roller coasters, of course. And in many of my recent videos I've got the request, Italy, 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 Italy. Okay, calm down, you got the video right here, man. So now I've collected 15 of the best roller coasters in Italy, and all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. And coming in at spot number 15, we have Fuga da Atlantide at Gardaland, and sorry again for the pronunciation issues. This water coaster is an awesome Intamin Super Splash model from 2003. And what makes this water coaster stand out is its steep drops and heavy theming. This water coaster really has a very beautiful Atlantis theming. And on top of that, these drops on the splashdowns are great. They actually give airtime. And these splashdowns are great. There's nowhere to hide from the water. This is a soaker. So let's quickly move on, man. Coming in at spot number 14, we have Dismo Race at Mirbelandia. And was this roller coaster model really worth the money? I don't really know. Dismo Race is an ambitious dueling spike roller coaster model from Mammut rides. And on this roller coaster, you can choose to speed up or slow down. And there's of course a minimum and maximum speed you can go. And this roller coaster layout is supposed to simulate that you ride a motorbike. And let's be honest, this ride experience is just alright. This ride layout doesn't really offer airtime anywhere, but you have some high speed twists and turns. So in the end, what can I say? It has a unique dueling element, and that's pretty much it. And coming in at spot number 13, we have Vertigo at Zoo Marine. And this was a very old Schwarzkopf looping coaster located at a water park / zoo. And on top of that, this roller coaster has one big weird layout. As a traditional Schwarzkopf looper, you have a very smooth layout with a bit of rattle, but after that you had a decent twisted drop down into a very forceful vertical loop. After that, Vertigo mainly stays low to the ground with a bit of straight track and some turns. Even though this layout is quite repetitive, it does have a decent pace. And then you hit these loud and obnoxious Schwarzkopf breaks at the end. And coming in at spot number 12, we have Diabolic at Movieland Park. And this really is one of those infamous inverted Vekoma boomerang coasters. And unfortunately, this roller coaster has not gotten new Vekoma trains. So this coaster layout leads to a bit of headbanging. This roller coaster really tries to kill me in two ways. First of all, it has intense positive G-forces on all of the loops, and that is very good. But unfortunately, you have a very shaky track combined with an awful Vekoma train. Oof. And coming in at spot number 11, we have Divertical at Mirbelandia. And this overall really is a great water coaster. Intamin has really upped their game in the water coaster section, and these roller coasters stand really tall. First of all, you have an infamous tilting elevator lift up to the top. The speed just keeps building up into this drawn out huge first drop. Then you fly up into the roller coaster track, giving a bit of float air time, and the rest of the track is very fast paced, and then you hit a very good splashdown section. And this splashdown is great, especially for the front row. This is a soaker for your feet. And just cracking the top 10 spot, we got Mammut at Gardaland, and this overall is just a decent Vekoma family mine train with a decent mix of theming. This mine train roller coaster offers your traditional layout combined with a mountain you go in and out of, and surprisingly, Mammut has one of the better layouts on these Vekoma mine trains. This layout does offer a bit of thrill, especially if you sit in the back row. And surprisingly, this Vekoma mine train isn't that smooth at all. It has a bit of rattle, and that's quite unpleasant. And to be honest, I've never ridden a Vekoma mine train with a bit of rattle. And coming in at spot number 9, we got Freestyle at Cavallino Matto, and I did really try pronouncing this name the right way. Freestyle is a very rare looping coaster. First of all, it's a Togo coaster, and on top of that, it's a stand-up coaster. And this roller coaster layout is very weird. You really have some great positive G-forces though. The vertical loop for me really is the highlight of this ride. This coaster, weird enough, also has airtime elements. Unfortunately, this roller coaster has a bit of rattle, and it's very uncomfortable standing on these trains, but it's perhaps one of the best Togos we still have here. And coming in at spot number 8, we got Oblivion, the black hole at Gardaland. And to be honest, this opinion might get a lot of hate, but I don't really find this roller coaster that exciting. And I can also see for many people this is in the top 5 roller coasters in Italy. What? In my opinion, Oblivion, the black hole, is just overall a decent smaller scale B&M dive coaster. You have a great stomach dropping first drop, you have a cool forceful Immelman, you have a floater airtime hill and a hang time fill inversion, and then the ride is done. So overall a mid-tier B&M for me, but don't tell me it's in the top 5 in Italy. No, not acceptable. And coming in at spot number 7, we got Inferno at Cinecittà World, and this really is an awesome Intamin multi-dimension roller coaster that many people haven't heard about. This roller coaster has a heavily themed indoor roller coaster layout with many screens and a few practical effects. Inferno really offers a great custom family roller coaster layout with decent forces all around. This roller coaster also features a great drop track element in the middle of the ride, and this is really how you make a good indoor heavily themed roller coaster on a budget. And at spot number 6, we got Shock at Magic Land, and this roller coaster yet again is a very rare roller coaster by Mammut rides. Shock is a quite big launch roller coaster by Mammut rides, and these manufacturers haven't really made many big rides. Shock's overall layout can be described as decent and punchy. The first section on Shock is really the greatest part. You have a very punchy launch that goes into a forceful airtime hill, and after that you have a non-inverting loop that gives airtime yet again, and then you go into a very very fast-paced overbank with crushing positive G-forces. Sadly, the second half is trimmed way too much and you just have a hang time filled inversion. In terms of comfort, the ride is a bit shaky and unpleasant. Coming in at spot number 5, we have Alt Air at Cinzetta World. And I won't be going into much detail about this roller coaster layout because this roller coaster features the traditional 10 inversion Intamin layout. But what? Wait a minute, you got the lap bars on this one, so that's quite pleasant. This 10 inversion layout can be described as okay. You have decent forceful inversions, you have a bit of floater airtime, but the iconic part is the quadruple hardline rolls. All these inversions give so much hang time. And now coming in at spot number 4, we got Raptor at Gardaland. And Gardaland was lucky enough to get the prototype wing roller coaster, and this coaster doesn't feature the dive drop in the start, you just have a normal straight drop. This ride does have a few floater airtime moments, but the best airtime moment is the first drop in the back row. After the first overbank and hang time filled inversion, Raptor mainly stays low to the ground. The rest of the layout is mainly very slow paced with a decent forceful helix, but the point of Raptor is all of the near misses on this wing coaster. This ride layout is so special for me because it has so many head and foot chopper elements. And coming in at spot number 3, we got Storm at Etna Land. This is a so-called Mack Rides mega coaster, which basically is a copy of the Intamin Mega Light. Storm may not be the biggest roller coaster, but it sure has a lengthy layout with many airtime moments. Storm starts off strong with a great drop, and then you have strong positive G-forces on this turn. Then after that, the whole layout is just airtime hills, and these airtime hills are mainly floater to flowjector airtime. I will recommend the back row for the most airtime. In my opinion, in the end, Storm is a bit too slow paced, but you have a hang time filled hardline roll at the end, so that's great. And coming in at spot number 2, we got iSpeed at Mirbelandia. And oh boy, this opinion might get a lot of hate out there. iSpeed really starts off with a world-class launch, a world-class top hat, and then you have these fast-paced elements with a lot of airtime and whip. But after a very whippy hardline roll over the stage, then the ride is just too dull in my opinion. The last half on iSpeed is way too slow. You have a decent hang time filled hardline roll, but that's it. And on top of that, these old Intamin over-the-shoulder restraints are just so uncomfy, especially for me because I'm quite tall. If this coaster had lap bars, it would be number 1. Now coming in at spot number 1, we got Katun at Mirbelandia. And this huge B&M inverted roller coaster really surprised me. Katun has a really lengthy B&M invert layout with crushing positive G-forces. After a ride on Katun, your blood is gone from your legs. This ride really is so tall and fast paced that the first drop actually gets a lot of airtime in the back row. And this roller coaster is non-stop strong positive G-forces until you hit the final brakes. And Katun is actually my second favorite B&M inverted roller coaster in the whole world, just behind Montu. And now if we quickly look at the parks with the most coasters on the list, we got Mirbelandia in the top with 4 coasters. We also have Gardaland with 4 coasters, and then we have Cinzetta World with 3 coasters. So I would recommend going to Mirbelandia or Gardaland for the roller coasters. Now we have finally reached the end of this video. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Have I missed some roller coasters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear if someone agreed that Katun is better than iSpeed. But then of course at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.